Hello, beautiful souls. Elena here. We're going to do a little shoulder love today, and you're going to need something flat that you can hold. So that could be like a yoga block, like that. I'm going to use this book because it's flat and easy to hold. Just something that, fits your hand, something simple. So look around for that while I'm talking. All right. If you're like most people, a lot of people, you spend, unfortunately, a fair amount of time on your device or on your computer or doing something where you're kind of hunched forward. Maybe your head is forward. And that's not so great for openness in the chest. So there's a lot of different things, a lot of yoga postures we can do, or maybe things you learned, just in gym class that you can do, or just, innately moving around can really help to open that up. So I'm going to share with you today something that I learned really recently from Patrick Beach and Kaylee Harps on Aloe Yoga, which I find really fun because my brain didn't really understand what was happening and my body got it. So it was this really fun interplay between mind and body and just like trusting what was happening. And so it's kind of a game. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. Also, just to know, if you really want to get into some serious shoulder stretches, I recommend Andre Lapa, L-A-P-P-A. You can find his stuff on Yoga Journal, and they're amazing. His shoulder stretches are like no other, but of course you need to lie down and warm up, and they're serious, man. This is more fun. All right, so what I would like for you to do is grab your flat objects and hold it straight in front of you as if you were holding out a tray of really amazing things like your favorite wine or the best smoothies you've ever made, whatever it is, you're holding this tray. And while we're going through this, if you're like me, there's going to be some point where you're like, what's she doing? And your body will actually get it. So you can just be like, oh God, this is the fun part. And just enjoy the brain confusion. It's fun. It's like being a kid again, you don't really understand what's happening, but you can do it. So here we go. All right, so move the tray to the side. We're good so far. And throughout this whole range of motion, this whole exercise, do your best to isolate the movement to shoulder and arm. Because what we want is to open up the shoulder. We want full range of motion in the shoulder. And of course, if I'm turning my body, then actually I'm not getting movement in my shoulder, I'm getting movement in my waist, which is a whole different thing. So do your best. I like to put my hand on my chest in the beginning to remind myself not to move. So here we are, our tray is on the side. And then bring your tray behind you, as if you're giving someone behind you that nice yummy drink. And swing your hand over your head, keeping your tray nice and flat. Move your tray in front of you. Give that nice drink to some tall person in front. And then swing around, all the way around to the back. Come underneath your armpit with your nice flat tray, and back to start. Pretty simple, right? So let's do that again. Remember, keeping your body as basically still as possible so that you get range of motion in the arm. So moving to the side and then going back, swinging around over the head, all the way to the front, coming around to the side again, all the way to the back, under the armpit. I just dumped everything and back to the front. Cool. Okay, so that's it. That's the whole movement. And I find it pretty fun. Especially when I start trying to do the other arm. So I'm going to leave it to you to play with that because that was really fun for me. And then, can you do both arms at once? Also fun to let my body teach my brain how to do this. And then, can you do it backwards? Of course you can. And can you do both arms backwards? Of course you can. So all of this is really nice for helping get movement in the shoulders and helping you understand where your range of motion is great and where it's not so great. So for instance, for me right here, I don't have great range of motion. So the last thing I want to share with you about this is if you want to increase your range of motion, one thing you could do is really crank on your arm to try and get your tray flat, right? So I just spilled everything. If I want to get my tray flat, I can really crank my arm around and try and make it flat. Okay, if you do that and you feel tension in your elbow, any joint, right? Shoulder, elbow, or wrist, you're putting a lot of stress on the joint, and your joint doesn't stretch. So you're not going to improve your range of motion by putting pressure on your joints. So cranking all the way around, ow, I feel it in my shoulder. What you want to do is back off a little bit, unwind your arm a little bit, relieve the pressure on the joint, and pretty soon you will feel, hey, that's the muscle tension. So back off a little bit, find out where the muscle tension is, and that's where you can increase your range of motion. Keep in mind also that one of the things that stops your range of motion is the actual shape of the joint. There's some point where the joint is just going to run into another part of the joint, right? The ball's going to hit the socket and it just can't go farther. So it's also possible that my range of motion is never going to be better there because of the shape of my joint. So that's also possible. So yet another reason to not crank on my bone, right? Anyway, have fun with that. Play, whee, be a kid, and enjoy freedom of movement. Hope that helps. Enjoy, and see you next time.